Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm surprised to be Ian.
Ian did not know that I had hit the record button, and I was just sitting here listening to talk because I was counting down the seconds till I can. Because at the beginning I record 15 seconds of dead air just so I can use it for editing purposes.
Some would argue that we record an hour of dead air.
It is an hour's worth of dead air. I wouldn't say an hour because I talk most of a lot of the way through it. So Ian's portion is dead air. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, Ian?
Not a whole lot.
It's been a while since we recorded.
4 weeks.
Yeah,
4 weeks since we recorded. But
we took 2 weeks off for the holiday. Yeah. Our schedules were really shitty. Mine
schedule was
mine
really
was
shitty.
super shitty because.
Yeah. But I worked too because of the holiday. Our weekends off usually coincide, but our weekends off also are coinciding with the holidays this year.
Yeah, so I worked 18 of the last 22 days. Today feels like the first day I've had off in like fucking a month. Yeah. It's been a long, strange couple of years, but I'm done with everything with nursing school. Monday is my absolute last day of school, so I will be done, and I'm ready to be fucking done.
Yeah. I'm ready to be done with you bitching about it.
I've been bitching about it for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
So what else? Nothing's going on, Ian?
No.
How was your holidays? I don't know if I've really talked
I worked. To you. It was like nothing different. Just
was the hospital all that busy on Thanksgiving?
It was busy on the days around it.
Yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't even say it was as busy as it's been, but it was like normal busy.
Yeah.
Because like old school normal busy.
I think the last day I worked was like Monday. I think of that.
Monday was pretty busy.
And hold on. Because I was at Tuesday and Wednesday. I was in Toledo working, but Monday wasn't that bad. I thought.
No, well, it wasn't like it's been, but it was still.
Yeah, because what it's been has been like it's funny when I go to other hospitals and talk to people about the traffic that comes through our emergency department. They're like, "What, really?" Because then like I hear people complaining when they've got like 40 people in their.
That used to be busy to us.
No, 40 people in the whole emergency department.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh yeah. You know, if we're less than 90, we're good.
Yeah, 90 is a total. Yeah, 40 is usually the waiting room.
Yeah, or more.
Right. Well, I was gonna say the old school busy was like 30 to 40 people in the waiting room. Yeah. That was pre-COVID. That was busy. Yeah, now we're 60, 70 in the waiting room.
It's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, we're not hitting those 70s anymore, but we're still in the 50s.
Well, there's been a couple times
60s.
We've had 80 plus people in our waiting room.
Right.
I was out there one day in triage, and it was just a fucking madhouse. We had I think we hit 80 that day.
Yeah, I was there. I came in at the tail end of that night.
But it's funny, like even at 80, I think it wasn't like super terrible. But
well, it's manageable. But the thing is that it's just chaos.
Yeah.
Because we don't have anywhere to put anybody. People are having they're sitting in the waiting room for 6 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
And that's, it's not acceptable, but it's unavoidable, unfortunately.
The crazy thing to me lately is, so for you listening at home, we have separate areas that we put. If you're like a normal patient just coming into the emergency department, you'll sit in the waiting room. Mm-hmm. And then we have PUIs, which are patients under investigation. So they have COVID-ish symptoms, so they're waiting for results to come back. They're in a separate waiting room. Mm-hmm. And then we have COVID positive patients in another waiting room. But the problem is lately we've had 3 COVID positive waiting rooms open.
Right.
Like, because we've had so many fucking COVID positive people coming in.
Get your vaccinations, people.
And actually not even get your vaccinations, get your fucking boosters also.
Yes.
Because
get your boosters, but we're talking about people who are not vaccinated at all.
That is true. And I will say that like the hospital I've been doing my preceptorship for nursing school, like I would say, a vast majority of the people that are not that are sick, I'm talking dying, like dead, because we've had a lot of people die over the last couple of weeks I've been there. Most of them, almost all of them, were unvaccinated.
Wait, are they dying just normally, but are they dying because you're there?
I am not the black cloud.
Okay,
it's a cardiac unit, so people die like all the time.
And yes, COVID affects cardiac health.
Yes.
People have, you may be dying. You may have had COVID, And it could have been because you had a heart condition, but the heart condition was exacerbated because of the COVID.
It's because the inflammatory properties that COVID causes.
Right.
So
yeah, if you've got congestive heart failure already, it's only going to, intensify that. And
the thing is, though, with vaccines at least, and the reason why it's so important to get your I don't want to call them boosters, get your third COVID shot.
Right.
Is because the research has come out recently is that this new variant evades the 2-shot vaccines.
Right.
But the third shot almost eradicates it. So
there's already speculation that there might be a 4th shot in the spring.
Which whatever, I don't fucking care.
That's what I said the other day. I was like, I'll get 5 shots a year. I don't fucking care. I ain't dying from fucking COVID.
No. And trust me,
I've already resigned myself to dying from a heart attack or cancer. That is what I intend to die of.
And I'm going to fucking tell you, I know people joke about it and say, "Oh, I'm not scared of it." And I'm not scared of it either. But I've firsthand cared for patients who are dying and have died of COVID.
Right.
And trust me, it is not a way you want to fucking go out. It's not a very pretty picture.
Right.
You don't die very peacefully.
No, I mean,
it's a miserable fucking death.
Like I said, I've resigned myself to cancer and I've resigned myself to the possibility of heart problems, but I ain't not going out because of a preventable virus or a virus that if I get it, if I didn't do what I was supposed to do, it would be nothing more than the flu.
Yeah.
If I got my vaccinations, because that's what it basically is. You get it 9 times out of 10. If you're vaccinated with your booster, you get COVID, you're going to feel like shit for a few days, maybe a week. That's it.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it, you could fucking die, and I'm just not going to let that happen. Not if it's preventable.
Yeah. When I was leaving the unit this morning, because like I said, this last night was my last night of my preceptorship. So when I was leaving this morning, we had 2 more COVID patients that were being brought in. One didn't sound like they were too terrible, but the other one, she won't make it.
Right.
As soon as you look at her, you're like, yeah, she's gonna die. And but that's how most of the patients are that have come. Because it's funny because so I'm working on the cardiac ICU, but it's more than just cardiac stuff they're bringing up there because obviously all the other ICUs are full. Some of them are closed ICUs, so you can't even admit patients to them in general. So, those are just saved for severe transfers and things like that. People that can't really go anywhere else. So we've been getting a lot of COVID patients there in the ICU, and it sucks, man. It's a shitty fucking process, But
well, it's one that if things had been done properly from the beginning, wouldn't be as bad.
That's kind of the thing. I mean, I hate. I don't hate bashing on Donald Trump, but a lot of it. I mean, I'm not going to be one of those people that sits here and says there needs to be class action lawsuits against them, which I've seen. I've seen people calling for that, but I think a lot of the blame does fall at the feet of
leadership,
him and the administration at that
absolutely.
time.
He did everything wrong. I mean, he really did. He did everything wrong. He didn't acknowledge its severity at first. Yeah. Then when he did start acknowledging its severity, he didn't go far enough. And then, even with the vaccines, he was promising all these vaccines, but as soon as he's out of office, he didn't do anything, didn't say anything.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it goes back to the messaging that the administration had first off, in the
about
very
masks
beginning,
and everything,
about masks and everything else that has led into a lot of the issues we've had of vaccine hesitancy and stuff like that, because people, and that's the shitty thing is now, what was I was reading, I don't remember if I was reading an article or I might have been listening to Chuck Todd's podcast recently, but they were talking about moving forward, what can the Biden administration do messaging wise to kind of help to get people vaccinated. And that's my whole point is nothing. You don't,
because the people who are going to, no matter what he does, even the people who may have been on the fence, he's already convinced them. They're already convinced. Yeah. Everyone else is not going to be convinced. Definitely not by Joe Biden.
No, and that's what the crazy thing is if I think if Donald Trump were to,
Yeah, he couldn't convince him now
he
either.
wouldn't be able to convince him either.
He's gotten shit for trying, even in the half-assed, rudimentary way he did.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. You don't want it. You don't want it. Fine. You don't get it. But there has to be consequences.
Yeah.
You don't get free reign because you made a choice.
Yeah.
Because this is something that can affect other people. You don't want it. Fine.
Yeah.
But guess what? Wear a fucking mask. I think there should be fines for people who are unvaccinated and get caught in public not wearing masks.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think there has to be consequences. Because that,
Yeah, I don't-
freedom is not free.
I don't
There's
know how
really
you
no
would-
such thing as freedom.
Yeah,
You have the right to say no, but you don't have the right to infect other people.
No, you're 100% correct. And because like I've said it before, that your rights end at the point where you injure or harm someone else.
Right.
But as far as like fines go, I don't know how you would implement that.
Yeah, well, you'd have to basically create some kind of a vaccine license or something, some kind
Even
of
if there was a
identification.
law in place, I'm going to tell you right now, man, the fucking cops aren't going to enforce it.
No.
They probably would enforce it.
Some of them would. Some that believe in it, but there's going to be a lot of people who are like, on the side of...
We had cops in the state of Michigan that
who
said,
don't even want vaccines.
Well, not only that, but in early on in the pandemic when everything was closed, or everything had closed, or when everything was just starting to kind of started to reopen, there was a lot of cops that wouldn't enforce,
the distancing and everything.
the distancing and all that
masks,
stuff,
yeah.
especially at like restaurants and stuff like that. There was huge fucking problems
Right.
in the state of Michigan with that. So yeah, trust me, cops would never fully enforce, a mask law.
No.
As much as it, I don't know. Just stop being fucking shitty people.
Right.
It's that fucking easy.
That's like asking Americans to stop breathing, though,
I
unfortunately.
know. I was listening to a podcast recently where they were talking about crowds at concerts. And because I don't know if you saw everything, the deaths that happened at Astro World that
I'm
Travis Scott.
familiar with it on a peripheral vision because I don't know much about it.
So all it was there was a crowd surge during the concert, and some people got trampled and died.
Okay.
And a lot of people blame Travis Scott for it, and I don't know why,
Yeah,
because
I
it's
don't-
not his responsibility to manage the crowd during a concert.
No, it's the venue's responsibility.
Exactly. The venue should have adequate security in place to take care of that stuff. And Travis Scott took a bunch of shit publicly.
He still
for it.
is.
And he still is. Yeah. And I don't know if you've never been on a fucking stage before, but it's like when you are standing in front of. Now I've never been in front of thousands of people, but even in front of 100 people, you can't fucking see the crowd for the most part.
Not really. You've got the lights in your eyes.
Yeah.
Look at the Green Day show we went to.
Yeah.
That was a huge fucking crowd.
Oh yeah.
If something had
Yeah,
started
there was
happening,
35,000 people there.
yeah, if something had started happening, even in the back of the what would be considered the main floor, which is the field, there's nothing the band could have done to stop that.
No.
So especially, and then if you get even farther back, what are they going to do? They can't see that shit.
So, especially since Travis Scott has a history of violence in his crowds, there's
The venue should have been prepared for
the
that.
venue should have been prepared for it. So,
I don't understand why there's. Are you going there to get into a fight, or are you going there to
so there's
listen
this
to
thing
music?
called rage culture that's kind of follows Travis Scott and other musicians. I don't get me into it. I don't fucking get it, but whatever.
Sounds fucking stupid. to
It
me.
does
But
sound very
again,
fucking stupid, but whatever.
I don't even know what kind of music he plays.
He's a rapper.
Okay.
It's but it was. I remember back in the worst crowd I ever saw was in. It was probably 95 or 96. I saw Pantera up at the Palace, and the crowd. I'm surprised no one got hurt. Really, because I've never seen anything like that before. People walking out of there fucking covered in blood.
yeah.
People just beating the shit out of each other, and it's
Because they were in the mosh pit, probably.
yeah, I'm but the pit was half of the floor
Right.
of the Palace. It was just huge.
Yeah, how
fucking
can
pit.
you hear music? How can you hear the music if you're getting pounded in the head with somebody's
what the
fist?
heck?
We're getting kicked in the face with a boot.
Someone I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just
It's not just you.
I can't think standing there oh yeah, I love this song so much I just want to punch someone in the
Right.
face. But then again, Pantera has they've got an album which the cover is a man getting punched in the face.
Right.
So
Is that vulgar
display of power, yeah. So, but that was definitely the worst crowd I've ever seen at a show.
Yeah, but you can't really hold that album cover up to anything because it wasn't an official album cover. It was a huge artwork on the poster and everything. Metallica had metal up your ass. For people who go to Metallica concerts and shove metal up their ass, literally.
I'm going to tell you right now, you should never shove anything up your ass.
No,
because as we've seen in the hospital, it doesn't come back out.
Well,
it doesn't come up. It doesn't come back out easily.
Yeah.
No cucumbers, no vibrators, nothing. Nothing should go up your ass.
All right.
I don't remember where the fuck I was even going with all that.
That's hilarious.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh, we were talking about Travis Scott.
Travis Scott, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember why I was even talking about Travis Scott.
Well, I brought up how I said shitty Americans, and that's...
Oh, yeah. So I was listening to this podcast, and they were talking about that stuff. And the one host is like, it's a real simple solution. People just need to stop being assholes in crowds.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't beat the shit out of each other. Don't rush the stage. If you see people fall,
help them up.
Yeah. Instead of stepping on them. But it was funny, as I was listening to the podcast, that was the first thing, that's like what crossed my mind was like, good luck with that. Like, because I'm going to tell you, like, humans are shitty fucking creatures.
Man.
We are shitty animals. We are selfish. I know people try not to be, but we are fucking selfish creatures.
We are.
We don't care about other people.
No.
I'm making a blanket statement because overall, as a society, we don't fucking care about other people.
Well, the sad thing is that it's the default.
Yeah.
It's our default nature and we have to fight against it. But the problem is that unless
our animalistic nature,
right? Unless we're taught properly to fight it, or actually make an effort to fight it, we're not going to.
Yeah.
And we live in a time where people are told not to fight it.
Yeah.
It is all about you. And that started in the 80s.
Yeah.
Greed is good is what we're talking about. That's the beginning. It's all about you. It's all about, what you can get out of it. And the same thing goes with even on the other side of the political spectrum. It wasn't about, it's all about you in a sense, but you're special.
Yeah.
You are number one, but
but that's
it's
how
not selfish.
It's always been like that, though.
Yeah, but it hasn't. I think it
really has. Overall,
I think in some circles for sure, but I think it's gotten considerably worse over the last, say, 40 years.
I don't know, man. As far as like when was the time where we weren't selfish assholes as a society?
I don't think
there's always been like, we've always been a class society where we've taken advantage of other people to get ahead and
I'm trying not to look at it on a grand scale because when I talk about all of us, I'm not really even looking at it as a grand scale. I'm just talking individual selfishness versus individual compassion and empathy. Unless that's unless you're taught that, you're never really going to engage in it. On a societal level, you're absolutely right. There's never been a purely equal and, would we even call that utopian society? There's never been that.
No.
There's never been a society that didn't benefit from hurting or taking advantage of other people.
Yeah.
Never in the history of humanity.
I think it's probably gotten better than what it was several hundred years ago.
In many parts of the world, but there's still a lot of parts of the world that it's not better.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Absolutely.
You're right. I think if you look at it overall, we're better now than we were 500 years ago for sure. I don't know how much better we've gotten over the last, say, 60 years. I think we've taken a couple steps back in some areas.
Oh, yeah.
Even in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes to what I was talking about. It's like, there used to be a time when, corporations have always taken advantage of the worker, but there was a give and take. And then starting in the late 70s.
Now it's just a take and take.
Well, I think we're hitting the point where it's going to start reverting back, where there's going to have to be give and take. Otherwise, the corporations won't be able to survive, or they're going to have to take extreme measures.
Yeah.
Because look at our workforce issues. People are choosing not to work. They're choosing not to take jobs.
Good, because
Right.
no one wants to work a shit job for no fucking pay.
Right. But the downfall is that either means that these corporations have to pay more, or
No, they just squeeze more out of their employees.
or squeeze more out of the people they have, which means they're going to end up losing them too, whether it be through normal choice or fucking killing them.
But that's the whole thing. I mean, that's one of the things about, and that's one reason why I think we'll never have like universal health care in this country, because in a lot of those situations where you are working a shit job for no money for an employer that is squeezing every last penny they can out of you, in a lot of instances you're just fucking stuck.
Right.
You're stuck in a job.
Someone pointed out that, and I had never thought of this before, but one of the reasons why especially big corporations and Republicans essentially fight against universal health care is because having your health care tied to your job. How many people say, I'd quit my job, but I need the health care?
I need the help. Ian, we work with several people that I know of that work there only for the health care.
Right, because we get good health care, and it's cheap to us.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say our employers are squeezing us either.
No.
I mean, we do okay.
We
disagree.
We do very okay.
Yeah, we disagree with things on principle or on practicality, but we have it pretty damn good.
Yeah. I'd say we have it more than really good.
Yeah.
We got to
not if you ask some of our coworkers.
I know that because
they would make you think that they are living in like the 1800s in England, and they're like, the basically when the beginning of the factories, and they're just slaving away. And
I don't remember what nurse it was that said it, but there was a nurse. I don't even remember what they were even talking about, but I heard them. This is several weeks back now, but one of the nurses said that I've done much shittier jobs for a lot less pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we work with a lot of people that haven't.
Never, right? We get a lot of younger people.
Yeah, there's especially in the job family we work in. There's a lot of younger people that have
never had a shitty job.
They've only worked at like a coffee shop or something like that before they started.
Which, has its shitty moments.
Absolutely.
For sure,
every job has shitty moments, but it's not like we've got I don't know. It seems like there's not there is the younger people we work with definitely do not appreciate the position that we have.
Yeah.
Because we've got a really cushy job and we're paid pretty decently.
Right. I wouldn't say it's perfect. There are elements of it that I fucking hate.
Every job has its fucking downside. That's the thing I've talked to my kids about. When you start working, you're dealing with a shitty manager or shitty coworkers. I always tell them, look, throughout the rest of your life, you're going to work,
right?
Or at least most of your life, and you're always going to deal with difficult people. You're always going to deal with shitty people, and it's the way that you manage those situations, will determine what kind of employee you are.
Right.
Absolutely. Are you just going to bitch and complain about it, or are you just going to try to make the situation better?
You have to understand that we live in America, and then in America, the only answer to that question is you bitch and complain.
Yeah, because that goes back to the selfish nature of our of the human race. I mean,
right?
Humans are shitty, selfish people.
Now, I see that as the potential for really.
Oh shit! I just spilled my drink all over me.
Good job. Please excuse us while we experience technical difficulties.
All right, sorry about that. I was taking a drink and made a big old fucking mess all over the place.
Because we can't take you anywhere.
No. I can say we've been recording down here for like almost 5 years now, right? Mm-hmm. That's the first time I've done that. I don't think I've ever spilled anything all over my fucking desk.
No.
I'm sorry. What point were you trying to make there?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
So we were talking about
shitty people. That's all I remember.
And the shitty human race that we are.
Oh yeah, that was the point I was making. There's the idea is that the human race has been able to evolve and maintain because of we've established societies.
I think we've reached a point where we've stopped evolving.
But that's my point. When we get to this point where everything's going backwards, where we're not working for a societal good, and societies are going to start crumbling, and they will. because they can't sustain at the way they're going.
I think it's going to take a lot for it to crumble, though.
True, but
I think crumble is.
When I say society,
word.
I'm not talking about like governments and things like that. I'm talking about the society on a lower level, even. That'll take a long time. Governments and things will fall for sure, but there's going to come a point where if we're not working for a common good, if everyone's just out, I mean, we're talking, the road warrior. We're talking, beyond Thunderdome here. Society won't survive. The human race will not survive until we get back either to a point where we start building little societies again.
Yeah, like a great reset, basically,
right.
of the human race.
That would be the only way we could survive, because I think as just, everyone for themselves leads to everyone just killing each other.
Yeah, which I don't know if we're going to get to a point where, like, I think it would take a lot for, like, society to fall, because even like governments, like the government here in the United States is going to take a lot for it to crumble and fall, because we can make our own money. And that's kind of the big thing.
Right.
Money, they will always be able to prop up the system with money until like some kind of great
natural disaster
happens, like
or
a comet hitting the earth and wiping out a third of the population,
which I've been actually kind of
waiting for.
I've been cheering on all these comments out there that are, NASA they keep releasing these clickbait articles about this one's going to come this close to Earth. I'm like, you can come a little closer, because I think it's time. The human race has had its chance.
That's hilarious.
Wipe us out. The Earth can repair itself over a couple million years, and then maybe another species can give it a go.
Give it a go. Yeah,
because it's only once that species starts evolving, it's only going to be about 150 to 200,000 years before they're at the point that we're at now. That's like a blink of an eye in terms of universal lifespan. So the Earth heals itself for a couple million years, and then
that's the other thing is like,
then all you need is a couple 100,000. And
do you think we've gotten to a point where we can't evolve anymore? Like, have we reached the end of evolution? Because I kind of feel like we kind of have. Because I don't really think we've evolved a whole lot over the course. And I know evolution takes millions of years.
Millions of years, yeah. Yeah, I think the human species is probably reaching its zenith, for sure. I think it is.
Is it zenith?
Yeah.
Zenith. I thought it was zenith.
It depends on which side of the ocean you're talking about.
We're on this side of the ocean.
All right,
it's fucking zenith.
Whatever.
Or apex. You can say apex also.
Okay, fine. Apex. It's reaching the roof. It can't go no farther.
But no, I do. I think, like, because look at how much, because I the way I kind of look at like modern society. So it's 2021. That's the end of 2021. Like, modern society started in like the 1880s.
Yeah,
so
that's
really
fair. With the Industrial Revolution, yeah.
So modern society has really only existed for about 140 years.
Right.
So, but over the last 140 years, even prior to that, I'd say
actually be looking more like closer to 200 years. We're almost in the middle of the 21st century.
What?
Since the 1800s?
Middle
of the 1800s is
hold on, but I was talking primarily 1880s.
Okay,
that was
150. Yeah, 100. Yeah,
that was 140 years ago.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But I was getting ready to go back further. I would say probably in the last 300 years, the human race really hasn't evolved much.
Right. Well, there's also different levels of evolution too. If we're talking about intellectual evolution,
which I think there has been,
and I think we can go farther intellectually. We have a lot of stupid people on this planet.
So we do.
So we haven't reached the peak of human intelligence yet.
The zenith.
Yeah. The apex, as you would put it, of human intellectual growth. And I think physically, give it a couple thousand years, I think physically we can probably evolve certain traits that might be more beneficial than what we have now.
Yeah.
But I think overall, we're talking small increases are all that's left.
Yeah.
I don't see us evolving. I really, optimistically, I think the human race might have another 6 to 10,000 years.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think the only
Of existence. I'm not even talking about evolution. I'm just talking existence. I think at some point, things around us will evolve to a point where we're just not capable of surviving because we can't. There's not any more areas for us to grow. Is what I'm saying. So if you throw a small comet in, or more accurately, granted they're saying it could be 500 to 1,000 years before this happens, but it's close and it could happen any day.
Yeah.
But if Yellowstone were to erupt,
and that's the only thing
that would be a super catastrophic thing that would change the dynamics of all life on Earth.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the human race would survive that. We could, but any species that gets below, especially a species as innumerable as ours, say if we got below 50,000 people, I mean that's extinction level numbers.
Yeah.
Or we become an endangered species at that point. And I could see us getting below those numbers if that were to happen. It would take some time. The food sources would have to die off, which they would.
That would be a big thing.
The environment would cool. It would actually be beneficial for the planet in the grand scheme.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be beneficial for us because it would cool the planet down, which is warming too fast. But I don't think the human race would actually have much of a chance of surviving in the long term, in the sense of, we wouldn't go extinct, but I think we would be extremely endangered.
Yeah,
and beyond that, going forward, I just don't think we have because we've kind of reached the peak of our evolution, all we would really be able to do is get back to over hundreds of years after that, maybe getting back to where we're at now. And then again, it would probably just something else would wipe us out because we're not smart enough to look past that.
Because we're a selfish, ignorant. You just hit your forehead on the fucking microphone.
I hit the bill of my hat on the mic because I was shaking my head in agreement.
But we've talked before about, or you've talked before about how you kind of see the end of civilization coming. But I think
not tomorrow. But
I think you're right. But I think the only thing that would cause a huge reduction in world society would be some kind of natural disaster,
or if we just, all out war. Would do it.
I don't see that happening.
It would do it. It would do it just because wars do decrease population numbers, and then if you get population down to a certain point, we have weapons that can wipe out large swaths of the population.
Yeah, but no one's going to use them. No industrialized nation, a terrorist.
They would have to.
A terrorist cell or something might.
But they would have to if they were if it got to that point. If the war's going on and if it looks like you're going to lose, do you think North Korea would hesitate to launch some nuclear weapons in a last ditch effort?
Why? But here's the thing.
Because it's better to burn it all and lose than to survive and not, and your entire world. Think about, we've got people in this country, normal Americans who would rather burn it all to the ground than to live in a world where where their kids are taught that black people have had a shitty way of going for the last couple hundred years.
But you can also kind of flip that around the other side too and say that there's some people that would rather burn down their neighborhoods than have racial injustice, which I'm not making. I'm not picking a side on that.
Right.
But I'm saying you brought up one side. All I was doing is just kind of bringing up a different perspective.
I think that side of it is you're not wrong necessarily, but there was one of the protests, and this was years ago. But someone was interviewing this woman who had been part of this protest that became riotous, where there was looting and burning and stuff. And they asked her, why would you want to burn these? This is your neighborhood.
Yeah.
She goes, this isn't my neighborhood. These aren't my stores.
Yeah.
I don't get anything out of this.
Yeah.
We're not burning our shit. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
So, that argument could be made on the other side too, but you're right. I think there's a lot of people on this planet who think that it would be better, who would rather see it burn than to lose or to live the way they have. And believe me, I was just saying how bring on the asteroid, but I'm not doing it. I'm not letting it burn. I'm just because you can't stop it once it's coming. So.
But I think that's the thing with like nuclear weapons and with large nations, and that's why like countries have nuclear weapons as a deterrent.
Right.
But I don't think any of them will ever use them on any large scale because they know if North Korea were to attack the United States with a nuclear weapon, like the United States would retaliate and like they would end the world basically. We would wipe out society
but if
as
you're
a whole.
Kim Jong-un and you're already going to die, why would you care?
Yeah, I don't know. But especially in his situation where the leader of North Korea is seen as almost like a godly figure.
Well, he's the son of a god.
Yeah, son of a god. Would you want that to be your lasting image?
Well,
is the person that ended,
I don't think he cares because
I think
if he's going to lose his power,
does.
if you're going to come in, say we go to war and obviously North Korea doesn't stand much of a chance on a normal war. It wouldn't last more than probably a year, but at some point he's going to lose.
People said that about Iraq too. We were there for a long time.
No, we took Iraq in a few months.
Yeah,
the problem is that we occupied Iraq.
That's true.
We didn't have a backup plan.
That's true.
North Korea has a backup plan. It's called South Korea.
I think we would probably go to war with Russia before we went to war with anyone else.
And that's even looking like maybe it could happen soon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because that's looking like a possibility.
Well, because it's looking like Russia wants to invade the Ukraine again.
Which because we didn't do anything the last time they did it.
No, but we did. I think they were stopped ultimately.
Yeah, I think the current administration has taken a much harder line with Russia than the previous administration did, though.
Yeah, because the previous administration was in their pocket.
Yeah, and it looks like this administration is going to take a very hard line with China, which is going to be very interesting to see. There might be some issues there because they're, well, I don't know. We'll see what kind of happens.
China's more of a threat than Russia is, but I wouldn't want us going to war with either one of them.
I don't want to go to war with fucking anyone.
Right. Like, I know, but if you got to go to war with North Korea.
No, let's not go to war with anyone.
No, you know me. I'm a peace guy. I don't like war at all.
Yeah.
I don't even like fighting. I don't even believe in the idea of fighting if you can absolutely avoid it. But
unfortunately, we have I guess a large part of American society is built off of.
Well, we're a country
war.
built on war. I mean, we've. If you look at the lifespan of our country, which is what 245, 240
years.
Yeah.
Say 250 years.
How many wars have we fought in that?
A lot.
A lot. Exactly. We are a war people.
Yeah, we are.
We're a country built on war, and we're a country that has thrived on war up until
we celebrate. Well, look at the way we act in society. We celebrate war. We celebrate not only war. We celebrate conflict.
Right.
You know, as a society.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the things that's the way our society is structured, the way our society functions, the way we do celebrate all these, you know, somewhat odd things. I think that's kind of led to the gun culture we have in our country. It's something that's ingrained in us.
Right.
You know, to the fact that now you're seeing politicians with their sending out Christmas cards with their
whole family carrying
their children holding weapons.
Right.
I'm like, or holding guns. What the fuck is this?
And not just guns, weapons of war.
Yes.
It'd be different if they were just holding like, this is my shotgun, this is my hunting rifle, and this is my handgun that I use to protect my family. And
it's not
that's
that.
one. You know, those are the types
even
of
that
guns.
would be fucking weird. Like, don't
Right.
send me Christmas cards with your shotguns on them either.
Right.
You know.
Well, what that fucking congresswoman from, was it Nevada or whatever? I can't remember. Boebert is her name, I think.
Oh yeah.
Her entire campaign, every picture she had during her campaigning, she had a fucking gun in it. She was carrying a fucking gun in it.
Yep. Hey, the funny thing is, there was like, who was it? It wasn't just recently. I think it was like 2012, 2010, whatever it was, there was a guy running for Congress that would show up to his rallies like on horseback, dressed as a cowboy, and like bring his gun. And I always thought the funny thing is like, he'd come there and do his little speech or whatever. And the thing that always entered my mind was, it's funny people like celebrate this kind of stuff, but in the Wild West, like you weren't allowed to bring your gun in town.
Right. Well, you could, but you usually had to check it. You know, in certain places you weren't allowed to take it into the building.
Yeah, but it's like the Wild West mentality. But in the Wild West, they had gun regulations. Like,
here's the funny thing: there's the reality of the Wild West, and then there's the John Wayne Wild West, and the Clint Eastwood Wild West,
which never existed.
Which it's
Hollywood magic.
Yes, it's definitely not the realistic view of things.
Yes, it's insulation on a starship.
Well, no, a starship's going to have insulation. The argument was that it doesn't look like insulation when you got a battle scene and things are blowing up around you in a starship.
Movie magic.
Yeah, exactly.
But no,
suspension of disbelief to fit the narrative.
And that's exactly what Republicans have done for the last 40 years.
Oh,
suspension of disbelief.
Yes, yeah. Up until now, they're just making it up. They make it up as they fucking go along.
Yeah.
And I just don't get it. These are people who are like, they celebrate this middle America, this picket fences and farms, but they're listening to people who grew up in like country clubs.
Yeah.
Telling them how the farm life is the way to go. You couldn't these people wouldn't touch a farm if their life depended on it. I didn't even know this. Tucker Carlson is a fucking Silver Spoon kid.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he grew up in like private schools.
You can tell.
Oh, I know you can tell, but just because he has,
that's true. Yeah,
he could. Alex Keaton from Family Ties was middle America. Yeah. And he's still he was the '80s version of Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
He's just a more likable version, I guess.
The less crazy one.
Yeah.
Well,
now he's shaking McShake a lot. I shouldn't say that. I think Michael J. Fox is awesome, but.
Did I send you the video? I thought I texted you a video of Chuck Todd on Meet the Press a couple weeks back.
No, you didn't send me any videos. You've been sending me pictures of Marjorie Taylor Greene and that Christmas card picture.
I know I sent you a video of it, but
I'll look again.
Chuck Todd on Meet the Press, as they were like cutting away to a commercial, I don't even remember what they were talking about, but Chuck Todd made a comment about how for the last 4 years he's suspended disbelief because Republicans have suspended disbelief. And I just thought it was really funny. I was like, oh, he's making fun of Republicans. So I took a video of it. I know I sent it to you.
I'll look and see, but I don't remember.
It was probably shit. That was probably a month ago. Yeah, turn TikTok off there, Ian.
I never turn TikTok off. How dare you?
I could probably find it a lot faster than you can.
I'm in your emails right here, or your text messages right here.
Let's see. I'm going to click on see all.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
I send you a lot of fucking... And you never respond to shit.
I look at it. Here's a TikTok video you sent me. Here it is. You're right. Chuck Todd roasting Trumpers. I don't think I read this. I saw this one.
Yeah, I was going to see if I could...
Her video, cop take...
When did I send that to you?
I hope I didn't close it. Let's see. I did.
Jesus, I do send you a lot of shit.
Yeah, you do. That was at 2:07 p.m. on Thursday the 18th. Of November.
Oh, November 18th?
Yeah. So it wasn't really that far ago, long ago.
Oh, really. Yeah. Here, let's see if I can, I'll try to bring it up louder on my...
Are helping Biden, but they're wrong. They hurt the Build Back Better. But Logic has... I banned Logic during the Trump era because I think a lot of Trump supporters banned Logic anyway.
Banned Logic, yeah.
That was great.
They do.
So I saw that and I was like, I can't believe Chuck Todd said that. Which I know...
Well, he didn't say Republicans. He said Trump supporters.
Trump supporters.
Unfortunately, they're kind of indistinguishable in
at
many
this
cases.
Point, yeah, because they've kind of...
Trump has completely taken over the Republican Party. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
Even because anyone who's rational is getting weeded out. Anyone who's not a Trumper within the Republican Party, they are getting weeded out. They're either quitting because they know they're going to be primaried.
But now you've got Trump supporters decided not to run for re-election because they're going to go work for his media company. Which
That's a terrible choice.
By the way,
that's a bad idea. You do not go work for Donald Trump.
No.
You can support him if you want to, but if you work for him, you will lose your job in about 5 to 10 years.
Well, I saw that there's like investigations already into the media company and it hasn't even started
Well,
yet.
I think it's because he's trying to do it on a online, and I think the problem is he's been accused. One of the things I saw that he was accused of, or his people were accused of, was using patented technology to get things up and running, like formats and stuff that they didn't get permission to use.
Oh,
that was some of the things.
That's no big surprise there.
Oh God, no. But that's probably like the minimal amount of problems they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because there's still like FCC regulations that they have to adhere to.
And I saw that was one of the things is the FCC was actually doing one of the investigations.
Right. I think ultimately they're just probably trying to get preemptively watch what's going on.
Yeah.
What surprises me is that InfoWars hasn't collapsed yet.
I don't think it will.
I don't know. Alex Jones is still pretty much the head of it, and he lost that defamation suit, and he's going to be bankrupt here soon, you would think.
Yeah, but
That's his own personal money he's got to pay. That not the company's.
Yeah, but he can file bankruptcy and make it go away, and still hold on to InfoWars and everything else.
That's true.
Because the lawsuit was against. See, I think that would have been smarter to make file the lawsuit against InfoWars than Alex Jones.
Right. Well, I think he said they couldn't because the things he was saying he said outside of InfoWars.
Oh,
I mean,
was
he did
it?
say it within, but
'Cause
he
it
also
was,
said it
'cause
outside.
This is all in reference to the whole Sandy Hook.
Right.
Is a false
Well,
flag.
he was saying it at like private
okay,
speeches.
gotcha,
I mean, like I said, he did say it on the show,
Gotcha.
but I think
that
it was
makes
they went
sense.
after him specifically individually because he was saying it out on the
Okay.
circuit as well.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a douche canoe.
Oh God, he's terrible. And
What?
especially since, and this is what I don't understand. So Alex Jones, this is a few years back. His wife was divorcing him, right?
Okay.
And she wanted full custody of the kids. And she said, "I want full custody of the kids because you can see he's a fucking he's a maniac. He's a lunatic.
Yeah.
Look at the things he says." And his defense attorney, his defense was, "It's an act. It's all part of the show."
Yeah.
And as soon as that's all over, oh no, this is me.
Yeah.
How are people so fucking stupid?
Because people don't pay attention to shit like that, Ian. It goes back to the selfishness of society because we're too enamored with ourselves and what's going on in our lives to even pay attention to what the stupid shit that people are tricking us with.
That's like going after fucking Josh Brolin for being Thanos.
He snapped. he did the snap.
Hey, you played Thanos. You did the snap. I hate you.
Yeah.
Or liking, Robert Downey
Hey,
Jr.
by the way-
only because he's Iron Man and actually thinking he's Iron Man, even though he's acting the part.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think Thanos was right.
Me too. But I don't want to think that.
Have you seen...
I've seen the argument, yeah.
No, have you seen any of Hawkeye?
Not yet.
So at one point...
Don't tell me. I want to
No,
see
no,
it.
He, I don't know if he's like in a bathroom or whatever, but he like walks up. I think it was like a bathroom stall or whatever, and it's written on there. Thanos was right.
Oh, okay. Because I'm probably going to try and watch, because there's only 4 episodes out right now. I'm going to try and watch the first 4 maybe this weekend.
I've only seen the first 3. I haven't watched the newest one yet. Because my wife and daughter made me watch them with her.
Right.
With them.
him. So you got to watch them. You got to continue watching them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll binge.
If not, I would. Because I normally watch that kind of stuff on my breaks at work.
Right.
Or when I'm on lunch is a great time to watch
I
an episode.
I usually will let the first 2 or 3 episodes go, and then I'll binge those, and then I'll watch it weekly after that. That's what I did with WandaVision and Loki. So
I thought Loki was really great, though. I really liked Loki.
I did too. I haven't seen a bad one. I would say WandaVision's probably my least favorite, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah. You haven't seen What If yet, though, have you?
I watched most of it.
Yeah.
I kind of jumped ahead to the end of it.
Well, don't do that.
I did because I don't like what if stories. I've never really been a fan.
Some
I
of-
know they're tying
Some
in.
of them were like really good though,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I watched the first couple and then I watched the last couple,
especially since the last episode of What If
which I
like-
did watch.
tied in a lot of stuff throughout all the episodes.
Yeah, I get it. Oh yeah, it brought the season to an end. It wasn't just what I thought it was going to be like an anthology. It did
Yeah.
kind of tie it all together.
Yeah.
But I've never been a big fan of what if stories.
Yeah, but like it ties into the whole like multiverse and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's
Even the zombies though. I mean, it's like come on.
I love the zombie episode. That was a good one actually.
no.
It was a little weird.
Well,
but
they come back in the I
Absolutely.
didn't watch the zombie one, but I saw that they came back. I'm like, come on,
well the last episode of What If takes place in the zombie world.
Right. Nah, not my thing. I can as long as it's not completely tied to what's going forward as far as the rest of the MCU.
Yeah,
I
but
don't really
it
need to
made
see eye to
sense
eye.
how they did the zombies though.
Right. Oh, I'm not saying they did a bad job, and I like the animation a lot, but
Well, my whole thing was how were they going to do zombie Avengers,
right.
and it made sense the way they did it because I don't remember which one it was, but somebody it might have been Hank Pym got it from the quantum realm because he found his wife, but she had been infected and then infected him, and then he came back and infected everyone else. So it like made sense how they did it,
Right.
But,
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have it. I'm sure it was well written and well done. Like I said, just overall in general, I'm not I'm a big fan of what if stories.
Yeah.
So
but it was I thought that series was really good. I'm not a big fan of animated series in general, but
I
thought they were
love
good.
them. I
I
mean, if
thought
they're
they were
done
good.
well and the stories are good, because ultimately for me, it's all about the story.
yeah.
If you got a good story and halfway decent animation, I'm on board. Because
The animation and everything was great. in it.
the animation was fantastic. Yeah. Lucasfilm is actually working on supposedly working on animation that's supposed to be super realistic.
Yeah, we'll
So
see.
We'll see what happens with that.
I will say that now that we're like, I don't know, 50 plus minutes in this episode, we're not going to get into our topic, I guess.
No, actually, we actually talked more about a topic that we ignored several weeks back.
Did we?
Yeah, we had a topic where has humanity reached the peak of its evolution?
So we're actually gonna that was actually gonna be like a lead in because we are gonna cover that here in the next like month or two.
Okay.
It's not,
I thought
it's-
we skipped it.
No, we did. We did.
I
Skip
think we
it.
did skip it.
We
yeah.
did skip it, but I put it back on the list for us to do. It's on the.
So this was a prequel to that.
Yes,
This was a prequel
yes,
episode
yes.
to that.
We touched on a topic that we will get into more at length here in the coming weeks. How about that?
Fair enough.
But yeah, so what? Oh, we were supposed to talk about one hit wonders.
Yeah.
We didn't do that so much. we
No.
talked about that before we started recording.
Tub thumping sucks.
There you go.
We talked about it. It's done.
Chumbawamba is a terrible name for a band.
Yes.
Thank you. Good night.
And Dishwalla, as we established before we started recording.
Dishwalla was a song, right?
No, Dishwalla was the band.
Was it the band?
Yeah. I'm 99% sure of that.
Why did 90s bands have it was?
Yeah.
Why did 90s bands have really terrible names?
I don't know. They did, though. A lot of them did.
A lot of them did.
Although there's a lot of 70s bands that sucked, too. But they weren't, like, famous.
Name wise, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some really bad ones. Name.
But there's some that are, like, kind of borderline, too. Like Atomic Rooster.
That's a terrible name.
But it's okay. It's not fucking Chumbawamba.
Yeah,
Or Dishwalla. At least it's something. It's
it's not Kajagoogoo.
gosh, that was from the 80s.
I know it was. 80s band names were terrible. Also,
I guess. Aha.
aha, what?
Uh-huh.
You had an aha moment. Aha's not a terrible. That's not a terrible name for
a band. It is.
No, it's
What's
not.
your band's name? Uh-huh. No, seriously, what's your band's name? Uh-huh. No, what's your band's name? Uh-huh. It's just the sound. It's not even a word. I mean, they're not even words. It's just
I guess. Yeah, but you're right. There's been a history of really terrible names.
I'm gonna start a band. I'm just gonna call it It's just gonna be 3 M's.
Hum.
No.
I know.
No, hum's a fucking word, at least.
That is very true. Toad the Wet Sprocket. That was another terrible name.
Well, I let that slide because I actually like a lot of their music. So
yeah, but that's a terrible name, though.
yeah, I don't mind an abstract name. That's why Atomic Rooster's okay with me too. but like made up words and shit just doesn't work for me.
Okay, how about this one? Anal cunt.
That's a name. That's a band
That's
name.
a band name.
What was that one? That Russian band?
I've never heard any of their music.
What was that Russian band? Pussy something?
Huh?
Flaming Pussy, or they got arrested. It was that Russian band.
Yeah. I don't know which one. Were they Russian?
Yeah, it was a Russian band. It was a chick band. Russian woman band.
That's gonna come up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I won't actually click on anything. I just want to see if it brings it up. It's like Pussy something.
Pussy Galore?
No, that's a James Bond chick.
I know, that's why I said that.
You know what? I'm gonna do it the hard way. Well, the easy hard way. I gotta say, if we're talking about kind of weird band names, there's a band that I've come to really enjoy. I've been listening to them a lot lately, and their name is Wobbler.
Wobbler?
But they're a Norwegian band.
I think, that makes sense.
They've been around since late 90s, I think. Early 2000s.
I think Goo Goo Dolls is a terrible name also.
Yeah, it's kind of abstract, though. I don't mind it so much.
Anal Vomit? There's a band called Anal Vomit?
Apparently. Pussy Riot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were...
Shut the fuck up.
That's a band name?
No. There's a band called the Child Molesters. That can't be true. That can't be true.
It's the family band of the Duggars.
Yeah. He's going to prison, by the way.
Thank goodness.
Begging for
So is his wife.
Begging for incest.
There's a fucking band name called Begging for Incest.
Yeah. Rape Man. Bathtub Shitter. These are actually aborted Hitler cock. No, shut the fuck up. This can't be real.
I'm sure they are. They're just bands that are never going to go anywhere because of the fucking names of their bands.
Diarrhea Planet. I guess it's not that bad in comparison.
I guess.
Broken Penis Orchestra. Like the gay dad. Really? We butter the bread with... Wait, hold on.
I think we've just found a topic we can do on our Vinyl Den show.
We butter the bread with butter. Are you serious?
Not abstract enough. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's get out of this terrible sandwich shop.
See, I could see that as the name of an album, not a band.
Test Icicles? I just say it out loud.
I like that, actually. That's kind of clever.
Yeah. Dogs Die in Hot Cars.
Very true. Very sad.
Adolf Satan. Infant Annihilator. Dude, I had to turn this one around. Can you... Number 18. Can you say what the band name of that is?
18. There appears to be about 30 letters in this name, and it's Paracoccoidomycosis prostatitis sarcomucosis.
That's terrible.
I just sounded it out as I went, but there's like 30 letters in that word.
That's terrible. Smegma?
Why do I know what that is? What is that?
Smegma is I'm not going to talk about it because it's fucking disgusting. You can go to Urban Dictionary and
I think I know what it is.
Yeah. I thought it was schmegma, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought.
Let's just say it's an unclean body part, right?
It's kind of, but not really. I like this one, though. Number 20 is actually not that bad. The.
I actually think they're
21. They got Hoobastank at number 21, which they're...
Yeah, it's not a really good name.
I know, but they were a somewhat popular band
yeah.
for a short period of time, like in the 2003, 2004. Dog Shit Sandwich.
It makes you wonder, because like sometimes band names are really indicative of what their music's like. And if your music is anything like Dog Shit Sandwich, I don't think anyone want to listen to it.
Dan and Aykroyd. Seriously, at 23. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
Question mark? I mean, exclamation point. That's what it is. 3 exclamation points. How do you say that?
3X? I don't know.
The Clip Boys. Goblin Cock. I think I've heard of Goblin Cock before. Premature Ejaculation. I would not want to be in that band. Carter the Unstoppable Sex Machine.
That's not terrible. That's not the worst one for sure.
Gay bikers on acid. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
Dying fetus. There's a lot of fetus things on here. Wank. Limp Biscuit. Well, I'm gonna tell you, Limp Biscuit's fucking disgusting. Like, if you know what a Limp Biscuit is,
I don't know what a Limp Biscuit is.
Go to Urban Dictionary for that one also. Let's just say it involves a piece of bread and a circle of men.
Okay.
And the last one that does something has to eat the bread. That's what Limp Biscuit is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think my imagination.
You can figure that one out.
Yeah, I don't need to.
How about Chunk? No, Captain Chunk.
Is there a comma?
Yes.
Is it properly punctuated?
It's Chunk! Exclamation point. No, comma. Captain Chunk! Exclamation point.
Gotcha. Okay. At least it's properly punctuated.
Joe Lean and the Jing Jang Jong.
We really should be saving these for a Vinyl Den episode.
I like
I'm just
these,
telling
though.
you.
I like these. This one's a good one. We are going to eat you. No, some of these we couldn't. I wouldn't say on there.
Right.
Like all the
Adult version
yeah.
ones.
Crispy Ambulance. That's totally enormous extinct dinosaurs. That's not that bad. The string cheese incident.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Wank a Flock of Flame.
Never heard of them.
He looks like a rapper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Flocka, well, of course. Wasn't that a thing, Flocka?
Oh no. He's listed as the 146th greatest rapper of all time, apparently.
Huh.
Chumbawamba is on there.
Yeah.
303. 3OH exclamation point 3.
Like 3. Oh, 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Archers of Loaf.
Okay.
Some of these, I can't even fucking pronounce it, some of these. I'm from Barcelona.
That's the name of the band?
Yes. LMFAO. I've heard of them before.
Yeah.
Pissing Razors. That sounds really painful.
It does.
Finally at number 49, one of my favorites. G-Love and Special Sauce.
That one doesn't bother me.
Butthole Surfers at 51. Yeah, G-Love and Special Sauce? No.
And even Butthole Surfers. Just,
Really? At number 52, Enough's Enough. Really? Not a great band, but...
No, but now it just seems like they're just naming off bands that have just slightly odd names.
Yeah, Kajagoogoo, Squirrel Nut Zippers. Oh, these are all ranked, by the way. These are all ranked from like
Right.
worst to not as terrible.
I guess.
Sleazebees,
I don't like that one.
Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, I just don't like their music.
Ariel Pink's Haunted Graffiti. Funeral Rape. And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead.
Yeah, they're actually not a bad band.
Oh, apparently not, because in the rankings of the greatest musical artists of all time, they're 1,551.
That's pretty low, but they're not bad. It's kind of like progressive light metal, I guess.
Elvis Hitler, I've heard of them before.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, there's we didn't. Oh, hey, look at this one, number 67. It's a terrible one, probably the worst of all.
Pink Floyd?
Should have been number 1. No, number 67, Nickelback, and the episode on that.
Yeah. Wrong in so many ways.
If you got any questions or comments, you can email us at Ian. What's our email address?
lifeingeneralpod@gmail.com.
It sure as hell is. And we're also on Facebook. Check us out on there. And that's about all we got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some GoPros, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon. Oh shit. Watch out, you the car, Billy. Oh shit. Right now.
that party. Who down for some bitches who showing their bodies? Swear to God, nigga.